Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded NBA Ranking Show. I am your host, Eric, my big dog, Kenny. How are you today?
Doing great, Eric. Doing great.
A lot to cover in the NBA, but I wanted to ask you really quick, just your thoughts on the Kyrie Irving situation. I know we talked about it on Friday's show, but seems like sponsors, things of that nature, are leaving him now. Any concerns from you on how this is being handled?
They should have suspended him for the whole year. It's just enough is enough. Shut up and play ball. Shut up and play ball. No, seriously, you should. Enough is enough.
But
You
do you
know,
think it's a fair punishment? Like, do you agree with the punishment now at this point? Do you feel like they're trying to overdo it? Uh, Basically, Jalen Brown came out and made some comments about how he feels that it wasn't a fair punishment. The league's going to fight. Well, the Players Association is going to fight it. Do you agree with that?
yeah, I agree with that. He's the president, so they elected him. So they didn't reelect Chris Paul, but they reelected Kyrie Irving to be president of Player Association.
Yeah.
So it's just like enough is enough, yeah. Just like I know we got freedom of speech, but Kyrie, enough is enough.
Yeah, just I don't. I'm starting to sway a little bit on this one, Kenny. Believe it or
Mm,
not, I'm starting to feel like some of the punishment doesn't match it. It's based on the player.
yeah,
And I know Kyrie's had some situations in the past, and that's some of the reason that people may be feeling the way they feel. But there's been other players who have done far worse. And
yes.
I could just mention in the NFL with Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he signed one of the biggest lucrative contracts
Of
in
all
the
time.
NFL,
Yeah,
guaranteed. There was no, and the NFL don't normally sign guaranteed contracts. And yet here's a guy now that they're basically going to say, look, we're going to shut you down and make sure you lose everything. And it's going to be impossible for him to build that back up now at this point.
true.
So I don't know. I'm starting to sway a little bit, and I'm just curious. I was curious how you felt about it. All right. So let's bring up this list so we can start talking about where we stand with these NBA rankings. And this is how you found it this week. So this rankings came out on Tuesday. So obviously there's been some games played since, but at
Yeah.
5, you had the Utah Jazz, Boston at 4, the Celtics, Phoenix Suns at 3, Cleveland Cavaliers at 2, and the Milwaukee Bucks at number 1, remaining in the number 1 spot. So let's start off right with how you got to the Utah Jazz at number 5. Currently 10-3, my friend, have a better record than the top 2, 3, and 4 teams on this list. 2 more wins, 7-3 overall, 5-0 at home. They've played very well at home, 5-3 on the road.
Mm.
At Washington, at Philadelphia, and the Knicks at home this week. Why at 5, though, Kenny?
Because Colin Sexton's doing an outstanding job coming off the bench. He's doing an outstanding job. And number 2, all 5 of their starters are shooting over 70%. If you believe it or not.
Really?
That's crazy.
That is crazy. You think about where the Lakers are at.
And they have one of the good benches in the league right now.
So why not higher on this list, Kenny? Why at 5? What made you put them at 5?
Can't really trust them right now. You can't really trust them right now.
It's still that insecurity part of it, right? Because, again, the expectation was this team was going to just crash and burn once they got rid of Gobert. They got rid of Mitchell.
Yep.
You saw what they brought in. You're like, okay, they're rebuild. They're in rebuild mode.
Yeah, exactly.
They're 10-3 after 13 games.
Yep.
Expecting this would have been like the opposite way, 3-10.
Yeah.
So it's fool's gold in your eyes that this is a team that could possibly be off this list next week?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I noticed the Blazers dropped off the list.
Yeah. Injuries. Always happens to
Dame Lillard, right? He came back, but again, and my question would be to you as well, why not the Denver Nuggets at 8-3 right now? Why hesitant to pull the trigger with the Denver Nuggets to be on this list?
They're not quite there yet. They need something to get them over that hump. I mean, Joker's a bad guy, but he really can't do it all by himself.
Right? We expected them to be better coming back with all their players coming back, Murray coming back, Porter Jr. coming back. Still seeing some of those struggles, but Utah, in your eyes, the weakest on this list for next week?
Yes.
All right. Let's see what you think about the number 4 team. That's our Boston Celtics, our local hometown team. Again, this team's been through some influx with this Ime Udoka situation. Joe Mazzulla seems to be doing a great job of at least keeping this team on pace and what they need to do. They're 8-3, 7-3 in their last 10. At home with Denver this week, then at Detroit, and then home again for OKC. 4-1 at home, 4-2 on the road. How strong are the Boston Celtics, seeing that last season lost in the finals, the NBA finals? Are they going to remain on this list pretty much throughout the year, Kenny, or do you think this is something that they started off hot and could possibly slip?
Oh, they remain on the list. They're hot right now. They've won 4 in a row. Against New York, they hit 27 threes out of 51.
Yeah.
So I don't know where their defense went, but their scoring is outstanding. And you know who I really like on the team? Noah Vaughn.
Very quietly, he has been one of those guys, one of those agitators, one of those guys that you get in a game and he just does the dirty work, willing to get take fouls, willing to get the rebounds, right? No, that was a very sneaky pickup by the Celtics because he came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. I was like, who? What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
And I predict Sam Hauser is going to hit 6 buzzer beaters this year.
I mean, the man's a 3-point legend already in Boston.
Yeah, right.
Larry
who?
Yeah, we put him in the 3-point. Houses in the 3-point contest. He's beating Larry Bird's record. We're calling it now.
Yes.
Let's not. If you're a gambling person, don't put money on that in Vegas because I don't want to be the reason you lose all the money. The whole situation with Jaylen Brown now and him coming out, the Kyrie thing, do you think this might hurt some of the team chemistry? It's kind of been very vocal about this whole Kyrie situation.
No.
So you talk about Kyrie, just be quiet, play basketball.
Be quiet, just play basketball. I'm more
Jaylen Brown now. Do you feel like
I'm more interested in how this is going to all play out with Marcus Smart? He's upset that they let the head coach go. I would be upset too. You're supposed to, sign him back, and then he's going to New Jersey, and now New Jersey changed their mind, and now
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Brooklyn.
That's all right. So, and do you remember there is a reference to some of those old teams. So, I mean, you could keep it going throughout the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, very curious how this team's going to continue to perform. Do they accept Joe Mazzulla? Right now, it seems like they are.
Yeah.
The longer this Udoka situation where, look, he's still just dangling out there.
In the wind, yeah.
How long does that take before it starts to backfire on this team? But I'd be curious.
Me too. Me too.
I'd be curious.
Me too.
Number 3, steady, old, reliable. Seems like every year they're in these top 5 lists on most boards, on most platforms because of the fact that they stay pretty consistent. 8-3 Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
7-3 in their last 10. 2 games this week before our next rankings at Orlando, at Miami. So 2 winnable games, but they haven't played well on the road. They're 2-2 right now on the road. And I know that sounds crazy, but 500 basketball for a team that is very experienced. Are they starting to wilter a little bit with all the pressure of the last couple of years and not making it to the finals?
Yeah,
or not even winning. Let's just say winning because they did make the finals 2 years ago.
It's the injuries. Now Cam Johnson, Tuesday, career high, 29 points. Next game, tore his meniscus.
Oh.
Next game, he tore his meniscus. Okay. And Jay Crowder's at home, chomping at the bit. They haven't re-signed him. So what do? Torrey Craig. They put him in here, doing a nice job. All of a sudden, Chris Paul gets injured.
Right? Yeah.
So what do we do? It's just the injuries. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They got Devin Booker, but they need that 1-2 punch.
Right. Booker, Ayton, Bridges, but
Mm.
the remind me if I or correct me if I'm wrong. The injury to Paul, it's like a month or so, right? He's out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Months,
it's a pretty substantial amount of time where,
yeah.
and we said this, I think, last year during one of these ranking shows, but is that beneficial? Gives Chris Paul some rest early. They need him more at the end of the season, playoff run. This could be beneficial. But now losing Cam Johnson, who was going to be the number one guy in his place, that could be crucial. Will this team fall, Kenny? Will this be one of those things where maybe a possible fall for the Phoenix Suns? Do you think they stay on this list?
Yeah, they stay on the list. They stay on the list. They got a good team. They got a good core.
They should beat Orlando, we would assume. Miami might be a
Yeah.
tough situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long can you play 500 ball on the road before, you know what I mean, you start to question how good they really are?
Yeah.
Very early in the season, so let's not. But it's really interesting. This is probably by far the most interesting team that we have on this list because we talk about the Utah Jazz, the expectations we thought they would have. We thought Cleveland would be good. How quickly Donovan Mitchell has integrated himself into that organization, that team, what he's brought to the Cleveland Cavaliers. 8-3, 8-2 in their last 10. Very good games this week, though, at Golden State and then Minnesota at home. Minnesota, again, a little bit of a letdown so far, but again, enough talent on that team. 4-0 at home, so they've been very good at home. 4-3 on the road. Why are the Cavs so high, Kenny? Why have they done so well so far to start this season?
Because their bench outscores every other bench by 22.1 points per game.
And who's on this bench Osman, is that his name? Osman, and like I don't even know half of these guys that are.
Old man Kevin Love came off the bench and scored 21 points and 12 assists.
Kevin Love is still relevant in this league. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't get it either. But the Cavs are hot. I didn't see this coming. But you know who did? Ron.
You can't keep giving Ron credit because his head, it doesn't even fit in the screen anymore. You understand that, Ken? The more you sell Ronnie's right, the more the screen. We're gonna have to get widescreen everything.
Yeah, right.
But again, I just are they the second best team in the East in your eyes when this is all said and done?
Yeah,
all said and done. Season's going into the playoffs. You're going to say you would ride the Cavs as the second best team in the East.
If they can stay healthy and not bench get going, yeah. I hate to say it, but yeah.
Right? What they've drafted, they're very big. They're an extremely big team. And then they picked up Jared Allen last year.
Yep.
That was Mobley has been such a good player for them. So I like the chemistry. Better than the Celtics, though? When it's all said and done. And again, your list is based off of what we see recently in the last week or so.
Yep.
You would say Boston is going to be beneath the Cavs when the season gets to the final week.
Whew.
That's what I'm saying, Kenny. It's a question of, we saw what Donovan Mitchell did in Utah. They were very good teams, but they were always a little off. Something was missing. Better talent around them, so we could say maybe that's what's definitely helping. I'm not a true believer in the Cavs, though, still, to this point. Even though you say Ron's right, he's not always right. So let's remember that. All right?
Right.
Let's talk about the biggest, baddest man in the NBA. That's Giannis Antetokounmpo, who carries this team. The Bucks team finally lost the game because that would have been a record, 82-0. That would have been pretty remarkable to see. They may have a shot to beat the 73-9 record of the Golden State Warriors. Your opinion?
Yeah, they might can do it.
And they still don't have one of their key guys back yet. Anyway,
Yeah, it is, and they lost to the Hawks. The Hawks.
who they play
Ice.
again this week?
Yeah.
They're at home. They at San Antonio and then home for Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
7-0 at home. They have not lost at home yet this season. I'd be hard pressed to not say this team's going to have the best record in the NBA this season.
Well, they have Giannis, which is scoring 32.5 points per game in 35 minutes, which is just totally outstanding. Okay, they got a good bench, they got a good core, and
Middleton back at some point.
And the amazing part is Brook Lopez is 34 years old, and he's doing outstanding defense. Outstanding defense, and they still guard the 3-point line very well.
It's, again, all keys, right? What's this league about? Shooting.
Yeah.
If you can slow down those 3-point shots going up, you got a good shot of winning. And again, I think we've said it. The enforcer, he's not going to be stopped. If Giannis wants to score,
he'll score.
It's pretty much 2 steps and it's a dunk from the free throw line. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't
jump shot, you shoot the 3, rebound, can pass the ball.
So again, as we do our Vegas little bets here, Bucks 74-8.
Could be.
Would that not be an awesome?
Because their schedule is pretty easy. They got the good schedule.
So I'd be curious to see. Again, injuries always play a factor in any team, any situation. But I like this buildup, and I think they're upset about last season and how it finished.
Oh, yeah.
Because I truly think if Chris Middleton was healthy, they beat Boston and they would have went back to the finals and probably won it again.
Yep.
So a little chip on their shoulder, a lot to go on there. But let's bring this list back up, Kenny, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And again, came in with Utah at number 5, the Utah Jazz, the Boston Celtics at 4, Phoenix Suns at 3, Cleveland Cavaliers at 2, Milwaukee Bucks at number 1. I need you to tell us, Kenny, which team do you feel might not be on this list after next week?
Utah Jazz.
Feel like the Jazz may fall off.
Yeah, I feel like Jazz may fall off to 5.
Blazers, Nuggets, one of those teams possibly, depending on what they do next week.
Yeah, Nuggets.
Right, I'd like Denver. That's going to be a big matchup, Denver-Boston, because Denver can beat Boston. They could possibly move on this list, maybe even knocking out Boston.
Yeah.
And they're playing, and Boston's playing at Detroit, and I know how high you were on Detroit. They're playing good basketball. They're playing good basketball.
They're playing good basketball, young kids, but not good enough.
Yeah. And again, I think that's a time will tell how quickly they're able to figure that out.
Yeah.
All right, my friend, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you remember?
I'm ready.
You are ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what we got here. So I am going to ask you some questions.
Yep.
See if I can give you, I'm going to try to give you some hints. These are a little tougher. Kenny. I had to challenge you this time. I think I made it too easy last time.
Yeah.
I made it too easy for you.
I'm ready.
All right, 1970s.
Ooh.
This Boston Celtic, one of their greats, they only won one title, 1976, with this player.
Mm-hmm.
But he did not finish his career as a Boston Celtic. Who's the player? And what team did he play his last game with? 1970s. So I believe he actually even coached the Boston Celtics at one point. Told you, I made it too easy last time. I wasn't going to do it again. Ooh. I can't even get legit pictures because this is how old some of this stuff was. I got some old school pictures coming up here. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
All right. If I tell you the player was Dave Cowens.
Oh, Dave Cowens.
Do you know what team he finished his career with?
Oh, I want to say. Oh, I want to say Indiana, but that's not right. No, no, Dave
Milwaukee
Cowens.
Bucks.
Milwaukee Bucks. Oh
Look at this
man.
picture, dude. It looks like they got it out of the old, they had to go and blow this thing up with the flash and everything. Look how old that picture looks.
Right?
Dave Cowens
Jeez.
won championship with the Boston Celtics, 1976,
Yep.
but didn't finish his career. He ended up playing one more season. He retired, came back, played 40 games for the Bucks, and then retired again.
Wow.
So Dave Cowens, thought that was a really cool one. I wanted to give you a former Celtic, and I couldn't do Paul Pierce because he's been on 75 teams.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
All right. So this man
Mm-hmm.
was best known. Let me say, I believe he started his career in Washington. Best known for his New York Knicks days. One of the top scorers in the league during his time. Finished his career with another team. Which player? Which team? He was a scorer, pure scorer, man. This guy scored it. I believe he led the league in scoring one year. He was that good. They considered him Jordan before Jordan. I'm telling you, it's a crazy one.
All right, so Wizards.
I believe he started with the Wizards. I'm almost positive.
He was scoring with New York.
Really caught on with New York. 80s.
80s. Michael Richardson? No, he didn't know. He didn't know.
Ready?
Wizards? No, yeah.
Bernard King.
Oh.
Bernard King finished his career with the New Jersey Nets.
No.
I almost gave you this hint earlier when you said New Jersey, and I was like, oh, wait. But New Jersey Nets. Bernard King, you remember how lethal he was? He was a pure scorer.
Bing, bing, bing.
And they were like Jordan, when Jordan got, and Jordan came in right while Bernard King career was kind of on the back end of it.
Yeah.
But Bernard King was that guy that used to score like crazy.
Dang, I should have known that.
Right?
Bing,
Bernard
bing,
King.
bing. Baseline jumper like Bernard King.
Right. There you go.
Shaq lyrics.
All right.
Dang.
So this one, I'm going to show you. This is your last one. You're 0 for 2.
0 for 2. I got to get this one.
I'm going to show you the jersey. Got to tell me what the team was and where they relocated to. All right. There's no way you get this. If you get this one, Kenny, I give you a win today. All right.
Yep. Oh, it's Nationals.
Okay. Where did they play originally?
Ooh.
Ah.
Oh, jeez. Oh. Dang. I know this too. I know this too. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Right.
I know this too.
They were in New York. How's that?
Yep.
Okay. Upstate New York. Does that help you?
Yep. Upstate New York. And
Syracuse Nationals.
Yes.
From 1949 to 1963. Do you know where they relocated to?
Yes, I do. I can't. Oh my goodness. They relocated. Oh my gosh, yo.
Look at the colors. You may get it.
Philadelphia
76ers. Great job. Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, the Syracuse Nationals.
Yep.
Almost Washington. I was talking the baseball team.
Right, yeah.
1949, 1963. Moved to Philadelphia to become the 76ers.
Yep.
And that is our Do You Remember for this week. That was pretty good, my friend. You did all right. Listen, I can't make them all easy.
I know. I should have got Bernard King though. I should have got Bernard.
King.
Should have got
But I
Bernard.
want to thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you.
I want to throw up real quick this ticker that I forgot to throw up earlier, but there's how you can follow and watch us. So we do normally our shows every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rhode Island Broadcasting, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. You can watch us live. You can join in. Fans can interact. We cover all of the top sports stories that are going on this week. Can't wait to talk about some stuff with the Boston Bruins and that whole situation and Ron's take, because you know how big of a Bruins fan he is. Kenny, the Jeff Saturday hiring in Indianapolis, very odd situation that we will discuss. And Kenny, I know you're a religious watcher and you watch this face-off by far may be our toughest, as we will debate which quarterback is more likely to retire after this season, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. I can't wait to hear this argument from both sides.
I can't wait for that.
You got to tune in for that one, my friend.
I will be glued. I will be glued.
But Kenny, I want to thank you for all your basketball insight each and every week. Your rankings have basically, they're gone global, my friend. So many people are talking about it. So many people are actually loving what you're doing with this basketball. So thank you. Keep it coming each and every week. We normally release it every Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll do our show accordingly from that. Kenny, I will see you next week.
Yeah.
Thank you again, my friend, for your time. And I'll see everybody Friday night, 6 p.m. with Ron. All we ask for in this world is peace.
Peace.